Mark has done yoga this morning and now he's so bloody full of himself, it's ridiculous. And for some reason, his hair's gone curly.
It's really odd.
And we don't know why.
Do you think it's something in the water?
The other day, me and the girls were laughing so much because his hair was curling right in front of us, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? It was literally tight.
I was in hysterics.
Into an EAL
I don't
tight
want you
perm.
to have curly hair. I've got curly hair.
What do you mean you don't want me to have curly hair?
I want you to just have your
I just think I'm getting a wavy. I don't
like
think it's
your
curly.
hair.
I think it's wavy. Hi, Sky.
Hello, everybody. Why haven't I seen you much this week?
Who? Because
The
on
guys.
Wednesday you had a photo shoot.
Oh, yeah. I did a big shoot. Guys, it was so exciting. It was like being on a movie. There was 30 crew there. There was lovely lunch. We all had to have a COVID test.
Did
There
you
was
have
COVID
a
officers.
catering truck?
No, they brought in beautiful food, though.
Nice. I like a catering
Beautiful.
truck. I like the way you have to sit on the
Gorgeous
top of a double-decker
cabbage.
bus
Yeah, I like that.
and it steams up.
Yeah.
Imagine that in COVID.
Oh, we were in Crystal Palace Park the
It's
other
a
day, and there was a
huge film
huge,
set.
and it made me so. Oh God, it really made my heart ache.
It's almost half the size. Or no, it's almost about the same size as that crew we had for the Gangbuster, wasn't it?
What is wrong with cheese toffee?
Why is
Sorry,
no one-
can you hear that whistling?
What? I thought I was talking.
No, I know, but she's.
Oh God, yeah, you can hear her. Christ. It's a proper whistle.
We should do it.
Toffee. Toffs.
Yesterday, I came down about 6:30 in the morning. I got up early to do my yoga before I went to work. Didn't end up doing the show, of course, because of Prince Philip shock. But I came downstairs and there was the biggest pile of sick you've ever seen in
Did
your
you post it on your
life.
Oh, I thought you posted.
No, you can't post it. It's too ugly.
I know,
It was
it's
filled
awful.
with duck hearts.
No,
I
I
didn't
saw.
vlog it. I didn't anything because it was too disgusting. But here's a question, because I was having quite a giggle with Stacey and Linda with this yesterday. Do you know Stacey and Linda are both neat freaks? Their houses are perfect. So I'm looking at all this sick, right, piles of it. And I said, I don't always come round this corner before I leave for work. So how about if I just pretend I haven't seen it and then Mark can come down and clear it up? Would you do that if you had got up at 6:30, you were heading off for work and there was a big pile of dog sick? Would you immediately clean it up or would you pretend you haven't seen it? Come on. What would you have done? So say clean it up or left. Clean it up or left. What would you have done? Oh my God! Apart from Heather, most people say that, oh, Deborah would have. Most people would have said they would have ignored it.
Blimey.
So what do you think I did? Did I ignore it or did I clean it up? Leave it, or you lot. What do you think? What do you think I would have done?
6:03, they forgot us again, Total Storm Addict. What? A coach trip into the outback.
Right, most people seem to think I've left it. What do you think Stacey and Linda would have done? So put Stacey, Linda, and put what you would think they would have done. Gabrielle thinks I ignored it. Sally thinks I cleaned it. So this is now Stacey and Linda. Right? So, most people think Stacey and Linda would have cleaned it and that I would have left it. Well, I love being unpredictable because I cleaned it up and both Stacey and Linda went, what? You should have just ignored it. I would have ignored it.
I was kind of
Stacey says
surprised
I
you
ignore
did.
it all the time.
I was kind of surprised you did.
Oh, but I did stand there just going, it was such a moral dilemma. I was like, oh, and I knew Mark was feeling really down yesterday. And I thought, oh my God, if he's feeling down and depressed and then he comes down, he's got dog sick to clear up.
Yeah. And when I saw the photographs,
I
it wasn't
wanted
just
to
dog sick, it was like
cry.
a crime scene.
It was like a crime scene.
It was like a crime scene.
No, Stacey and Linda would not have cleaned it. So there you
No.
go. Stacey was absolutely begging to come round here and sort out the drawers yesterday because obviously we were going to do the show and then we heard that Prince Philip had died, so it was cancelled. But you were going to see, I'd filmed the inside of the drawers. So of course Stacey had seen it. She was like, please let me go round to her house. I can go in full PPE. They don't have to be in. I'm going to sort all our drawers out and all of this. And so now I'm a bit scared because I don't really want to see my drawers.
Right.
Because like she said, whenever I've been round to yours, it's been immaculate.
Yeah. Well, it's because everything's shoved in drawers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do spend 3 days clearing up when anyone's going to come round there. Guess who's coming to see us next Thursday? Ba 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 ba. Are you there, Lee? Lee is coming for lunch in the garden, and we can't wait.
Elsa Pop, I burst into tears when it was announced Prince Philip had died. So sad he didn't make it to 100 and so sad for the Queen. So, of course, I mean, one of the things we haven't discussed on the channel at all is Prince Philip.
Oh, yes, of course. I would have thought... Of course, because it happened
Apart
after the morning.
Apart from on the Members Live last night, me and NADIA had a chat about it. But
Well, we heard in a very, like, obviously, we were sat waiting to do the show. We had done one promo where we were doing steps, moves and everything. And the show yesterday was very, very jolly.
Yeah.
Lots of joking and laughing and jumping about and silliness and all sorts of stuff.
12-gun salute at noon. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
and we were just 10 minutes or so from doing the show, I think. And there was a rumour going around ITV, and they have very strict protocol at the studios of what happens when a royal dies. And we've been told, and you know, I was anchoring yesterday, I've been told multiple times, you know, you hear and you simply say, we are now going to the news. I mean, they were so manic about it. They've been talking about this for the last couple of years. And it's like, it's the biggest disaster if you were to say Prince Philip has died or say any comments. You have to go straight to the news, and they're all on tenterhooks about it. Practiced it loads of times, been all these rehearsals, and because it used to, the way that royal deaths were announced was that the stations, radio stations, TV stations would get half an hour's notice before the public news.
Just also to say, it's sad about DMX, a singer who sadly passed away after having a child.
But also,
Yeah, so
yeah, but
traditionally
now,
it would be
but
like
so
that,
traditionally, but now because they announce it on social media first, the news are all like scrabbling to get the news to get. So they all have these long programs already cut, ready for when somebody dies.
It's interesting because for me, the BBC is inextricably entwined with the royal family for me in this country, because so much of what how the royal family is communicated with the population has been either through BBC Radio originally and through BBC Television, the Queen's Speech and all that kind of stuff. And it was kind of, I noticed it was kind of intriguing as all of the news apps and platforms were pumping the news out. The BBC was about sixth to get the news out, which I think is quite symbolic. It came from America first, it came from Sky News first. But yet, there was a real traditional thing yesterday where they I don't know if anyone saw, one of the foot people kind of came out to the gates of Buckingham Palace and hung, and I seem to remember they did it with the Queen Mother, because we haven't had many deaths in recent years. And they had the notice saying it's with great sadness that they hooked it onto the railings as a sort of notification. It felt so Victorian.
It really did. And the thing is, so many people were saying yesterday, well, you know, he's 99, well, he's had a good life. It's always sad when somebody dies. He's a grandfather, he's a great-grandfather.
Well, I thought Nicola Sturgeon summed it up. She said exactly that. She said, you know, he's a grandfather, a father and a husband first.
And a man that was living his life to the full, you know. And the thing is about Prince Philip is he is the image of my grandfather.
It's funny because my mum was really moved because I think there's something about him that really reminds her of her father too.
So I felt a bit emotional yesterday when it came up, and we were all ready. You know, we were on Stacey, me and Linda. We were all dressed up. Denise down the line. We were all ready to go, and so we were getting all this news. You know, just very early, probably even before you guys, and there was all the stuff going on behind the scenes and real panic about. Oh God, so worried if cameras were up, if we cut to something, you know, it was really electric. That's the way I can describe it. It was electric. And then of course we were settled and we were waiting. It was obviously we weren't going to be going to do the show, but you still have to wait just in case something happens. So, you know, we all started chatting and everyone, some people were deeply sad by it, but like
Oh, the
instantly within the
newsreader
crew.
on Sky News was crying.
Other people, really?
Yeah.
Other people were like, my God, he's just a man. He's not a God, and there was all these different things. But I genuinely felt moved by it. It was
But
strange.
I tell you what I think about it. I think people have got the wrong end of the stick if people say, "Oh, why are you sad for him? He was 99. He
I
lived
think
a
it was
life
sad
that."
for all the people that have
No,
died, whenever anyone
But
dies as well.
what I think what a death like this symbolises is it's an era and it's
Yeah,
a time
absolutely.
and it's a
It's an
familiarity
era, absolutely.
and it's a mainstay of British culture, regardless of what your attitude to the royals are. Him and the Queen have been there as figureheads of the country since time immemorial. I mean, literally, for the vast majority of us. He's one of the last surviving veterans of World War II. He's at that age where he's...
And just of that, like you say, that era, that crotchety, say what he thinks, doesn't really mind. Xander, that's exactly what Xander says. It made me cry, mainly because I was in mourning anyway, exactly. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? When somebody dies a public figure dies, it kicks it all up for all of us that have lost anybody, isn't it?
And I was talking yesterday, it made me think of Nan, what my Nan would have thought about it. I mean, for my Nan, the royal family were her sort of
Nan.
spiritual family.
Yeah.
I mean, she felt so connected. And I think the biggest thing is, I think also this is empathy for the Queen has been kicked up by the fact that we've all felt universally, regardless of whether you're a royalist or not, or a Republican, we've all felt that the Queen has really quite managed the crisis rather brilliantly in terms of her...
That beautiful first speech she did, where, I mean, I've always loved the Queen, but I mean, I was really, I felt, it was so ridiculous, I almost felt cared for in that moment when she did that. It was just pitched so perfectly, wasn't it?
And I think in that sense, knowing that she's lost her rock is...
And it makes you think about when we lose our rocks.
Yeah, and 73 years I think they've been together. Something's just come up called A Wife's Farewell. We don't think of the Queen as a wife.
No.
And there was a wonderful, obviously there have been countless reminiscences of moments and stories and what have you. And apparently there was one by one royal correspondent who remembers the Queen talking to someone in Malta or somewhere. And she was on the quay side of a port. And apparently Philip was on the boat. And he apparently shouted across the bay at the Queen, "Yakety, yakety, yak, come on, get on the boat, love." And the reporter said it just reminds you that whilst she is the Queen, he's the only man on the planet it could have ever spoken to her in that manner. And I thought it was very, very...
Makes me want to watch The Crown again.
Yeah.
I might watch the episodes we've missed this afternoon.
But interestingly, you've got to understand, it's like MeTube was saying last night, you've got to take The Crown with a pinch of salt. There is a lot of revisionism in there, i.e. turning stuff that was not particularly pleasant or necessarily good into a sort of easy... look, this isn't a time to reflect upon those things, I don't think. And I think, he made many gaffes, he made many mistakes, but in a weird way, he was that sort of relative that we all know, that's of another era.
All the people that I know that have met him or interviewed him that have told me say that he's really scary. He was really scary when you would interview him because he's intimidating, but very, very charming.
Very funny. He would set people at ease.
I mean, women swooned.
Right.
He was.
Did you know what he said of himself? He said, "I'm possibly the most overqualified plaque unveiler on the planet."
Yeah. I didn't realise, I was listening to some stuff yesterday, how highly educated he was. He's a brilliant mind.
I didn't realise he was a refugee.
Yeah.
Sky take the fucking photo at one point, he said as well.
Oh, yeah. And the clip yesterday, "Are you well, sir?" "Why? Do I look unwell?" And I think it was Prince Edward said yesterday, didn't he, that he admired his father so much for not worrying as much as they all do about what people think. And I thought that was really...
Really, yeah.
I didn't see the direct quote, but it was somebody sort of paraphrasing it. And I thought, oh, wow, that's really...
And apparently last night,
really
Westminster
lovely.
Abbey, there was a bell toll every minute for 99 minutes to commemorate the length of his life.
Oh, look, he used to write "no fixed abode" in the visitors' book.
Oh, how funny. How funny. Zoe, it doesn't matter what age someone dies, grief still hits you when you love someone. My granny was 96 when she died, and the longer we had her, the more... Well, the longer you've had them, the more there is to miss.
Exactly. I never like this. I mean, okay, there is something in... If you've had a good life, it's like... I'm going to be devastated when I lose my parents. But I know that I'm going to be able to say, and Kay always says this about losing her parents, they had a good life. And there's comfort from that. You know, they had lots of experiences, they had lots of love, they had travel, they had so many things. And so that will give me some comfort. If they'd had a desperately unhappy life, that would have been very different. But I don't think we should ever say about the age, because it doesn't really make any difference if you love someone.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to lose anyone you love.
No.
Like you say, you've loved them for longer.
Exactly, there's more to miss. Steph for Mind UK, RIP to the refugee prince who put duty before self, love before social construct, and passion into equipping the younger generations with skills to achieve their ambitions. You can't forget the Duke of Edinburgh Award has transformed lives.
Yeah, that's very true.
And as someone else said there, it's always a shock. You know, you're alive, you're alive, you're alive. No amount of
Just the light
preparing
goes
for
off.
it prepares you for the moment of the light going off, because the switch is always instant, regardless of how long the kind of getting there is.
I very quickly yesterday went to feeling very, very, very sorry for Harry yesterday.
It's, well,
Because you know
let's
what
move
it's
on to
like
Harry
when
and
you-
Meghan, because there was a
when-
lot of talk on the Members Live last night. It felt like a very perfunctory message on their website. Thank you for your years of service. I mean, and it didn't amount to much else. Now, I was a lot of people felt it was very cold, it was very minimalist.
What did William say?
I don't know what William said.
Does anyone know what William
That's a
said?
good question, though. I mean, but of course, my sense of it last night was, if you don't say enough, you're considered cold. If you said too much, you would be called, I think someone used the phrase last night, kiss-arsey. Do you think there's truth in that? Do you think there's a...
I do think they are in a case where they are in a place where they can't do right for doing wrong. Definitely, I think. Well, the whole thing now is going to turn into terrible eggshells for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it didn't seem like much, that statement, but I don't know. I suppose I want to see what other statements said. Is that just the protocol that you don't say too much?
Well, there is that too, and you know they might be wanted to keep it private. I mean, it felt caustic. I think the part of it that kind of made me made me blanch. I mean, for example, if I was, I don't know, Harry's dad, and I saw that message, I would have done this when I saw the word service. Given the sensitivity around that phraseology, because wasn't there a correspondence between them, Meghan and Harry and the palace, around service? We can be of service in many different ways. I just wondered whether that was a bit.
I did find it a little arched, but parking that to one side and just as him as a human being, when no matter what's going on in your family, when somebody dies, you want to be with your family, don't you?
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine how complex that's going to feel for him and for all. I mean, you know, if William still hasn't spoken to him, and William is really, really angry, they say, because he's very protective of Kate and everything that's been. I mean, it's like weddings and funerals, isn't it? These feelings are magnified, but everybody has to hold on to them because of the occasion.
Josephine Reed
that
said-
is like tenfold here
Yeah.
because it's known across the globe what's going on between them all.
Josephine Reed, they would be damned if their message was too effusive.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Andrea Crash, though, it was a dig from Harry and Meghan. Read the word service. Michelle, lovely Michelle, I'm going to miss his cheery waves and jolly smile as he used to ride past on his carriage when out walking in Windsor. You could tell he loved how shocked people were when they realised who he was.
Really, Michelle? That's our friend
that's a
Michelle.
wonderful detail.
Oh
He
my
obviously lives in
God,
Windsor.
I love that. What, he just used to go out in his awesome carriage?
He used to just head out. You know, when I heard them mention that on the radio yesterday, you know what? I didn't realise they meant his carriage as a horse-drawn carriage. I thought they meant he had his own cab. I thought he had a black cab.
No,
that
he
used to
likes a
jump
horse
in.
and carriage.
No,
Oh, that's a great insight. Thanks, Michelle.
A lot of people sharing their sympathies also for Jane McDonald, who also sadly this week lost
Well,
her
as
husband.
you know, I didn't really work much with Jane McDonald. I didn't know Jane well. I did a couple of shows with her, and she came on a couple of times as a guest because she kind of left as I came back. But one thing I do know is that he was always there. Her husband always came there, and like before no, actually they weren't married, were they? Fiance. Were they married?
I think they were lifelong fiancé.
Yeah,
I
I think
remember reading
so.
somewhere.
But she always lived with her mum. She was very, very close to her mum, and then she lost her mum. And then they were two peas in a pod. And again, as I say, I don't know Jane well, but just what I know of her. You know, I've met her half a dozen times. But oh my God, it I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, she was one of those people that her whole language was just peppered about him.
Right.
Just entwined. That kind of, I don't know what star sign she was, but that kind of Gemini person that always has somebody that they're really close to. You know, she lived with her mum and then.
Right.
So, and he looked after her.
Yeah.
I mean, he completely looked after her. So.
Wow.
Yeah,
very
I
sad,
just
very
feel
sad.
really sad about that. And I know, like, people that were very close with her, like Kay and Denise, and they're all devastated for her. Yeah.
As MeTube says, going back to the story about Harry and Meghan, I do think we all need to just take, I think there's a phrase, you know, pull the dogs off. I think it's really a moment for the press not to seek to find...
I worry because there's going to be
points.
wall-to-wall coverage
Yeah.
over the next week because officially it's 8 days of mourning.
Yeah, and then
They're
followed
gonna
by
start-
30 days of mourning.
They're going to start getting itchy and looking for nasty things to say, and it's not the time or the place. I think I will always comment on the fact that I think this is going to be incredibly difficult for Harry, incredibly difficult. He loves his brother. And his brother loves him. Makes me cry. Isn't that weird? It seems, you know, that this is really terrible. What's happened between them? It's the worst thing that can happen. The very worst, when they've had a lifetime of people saying things about them in the public, and now he's a part of that, and the pain that must cause William, and now and by all accounts, so of course we never know. Harry was very, very close to the Queen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always been that chat, hasn't there, that he's, and of course, how can we know, that he's the favourite grandson. And so
It's going to be
he'll
incredibly
be
difficult
hurting
for Harry.
terribly
It's
for
going to be incredibly
her.
difficult for Harry, I thought, coming back into...
And of course, you can't, like everybody that's having funerals at the moment, there's no hugging,
No.
there's no touching, there's no soothing, there's no physical touch, no touch for the Queen.
As Emma Carter says, though, maybe this is the opportunity to bring them all back together.
Yes.
You know, it could be.
It could be.
Often happens, doesn't it, in these...
Let's hope that's
in these
what happens.
circumstances.
I was just reading actually about the logistics of it because, of course, even though he is Prince Philip, they still have the restrictions of 30 people at the funeral.
Yeah. But you know what? I was hearing a lot of people saying, knowing the character, where he was a man who wanted minimal fuss. He wanted no spotlight. He just wanted to get on with what it was he had to get on with in the background. It's almost apt that not too much fuss can be made. You know, right down to please don't put flowers in front of it. He wasn't an ostentatious character.
No.
And it seems apt that in this time of sort of enforced abstemiousness, that it's sort of, you know, that his funeral and our remembrance of him has to happen in these sort of austere circumstances. It's quite something, isn't it?
I think everybody just has to not be unkind about Harry or Meghan or anything. It's not the time, it's not the place. It's just...
I make a prediction.
We just
though.
have to pray that this actually fuses the family back together again, brings them back together.
I'm going to make a prediction, though. I think the press, sadly, will operate like the worst trolls, which is they'll feign concern and then they'll move in for the jugular 2 or 3 weeks from now. It's happened historically all the time. They'll read into everything, whether Meghan's there, whether Meghan's not there, you know, all of that.
Tracy Golden, he crashed his Range Rover near me, always saw him about.
Yeah,
He was definitely out and about a lot.
He rolled his Range Rover over, didn't he? He got out and he checked on someone in the opposite car.
He was formidable, wasn't he?
He was.
The finest food, loads of exercise.
Yeah.
That's what, they use homeopathy, a fair amount, the royal family.
Yeah, I mean, he made it tonight. It's frustrating, though. I mean,
Very outdoor life.
That
outdoor life.
Oh,
That's why they live so long.
Oh, yeah, well,
These aristocrats,
and
because
the
they're
best
always out and
healthcare
about.
in the world. I mean, if I was him, I'd have been thinking, you know, like a cricketer. I'd have wanted to make the 100. I was that close to. I mean, this is interesting. Obviously, as I was driving across London yesterday, a little bit like it reminded me of some of the countries like Morocco and Jordan we've been to, where it's very traditional to have, you know, sort of skyscraper-sized images of their leaders, their kings. You know, the king of Jordan, you know, the king of Morocco. You know, they all down the streets. You've just got enormous images of their leaders. And all over London yesterday, every single electronic billboard had an image of Prince Philip with his dates. It was really odd. It was one of those rare... Yeah, everywhere you drove. You realise how electronic most of our adverts are. Bus stops, intersections, all of the big electronic... Everywhere. all across London. It just had
Piccadilly,
Prince
saw
Philip,
the one in Piccadilly Circus.
and there was an enormous one. And so
Jackie
that's
Vellino
quite
just
funny.
said apparently he didn't want to reach 100.
Oh, did he not?
Wasn't that interesting?
Well, neither did Nan. Nan was big on that.
Yeah, I mean, we all go, oh, what a shame
Yeah,
he didn't
it
reach
was like,
100. But
maybe I
maybe reaching 100 is a petrifying number.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there anyone listening who's 100?
Yeah.
Please hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, guys. We have a lot of fun here, and we're here every single day of the week, 365 days of the year, apart from Easter Monday when we're totally knackered.
Yeah.
And hit the thumbs up just below us if you're enjoying spending time with us.
Now, I've got some really
I feel 100, says Velvet Vicky.
I've got some really odd little stories to
And
talk
Heather
about here.
feels 100. Okay, who feels 100?
110. Hit the subscribe if you're 100, love. Friends reunion. Now, we reported this on the Popcorn Junkies. This isn't a Friends reunion as in they're all going to act, they're all going to be in a sitcom again. They're all getting together to talk about being in a sitcom. So it's not quite the same thing, but it's a big enough deal for Friends fans. But Matthew Perry posted the first photo of the Friends reunion and then immediately deleted it.
Oh, right.
Matthew Perry has confirmed filming for the Friends reunion has gone ahead as he posted the first picture from the set. The eagerly awaited reunion of our favourite New York coffee drinkers was supposed to be broadcast last May, but has been delayed and delayed. But once he posted it, he then deleted it. Look, there's an image of him having his makeup put on.
Well, I mean,
in makeup.
Knowing that, like, you know, just from the little tiny jobs I do, I mean, my God, they're so strict about posting anything ahead of time. That's why you're never allowed to
But it's
post.
a little bit like when Harry went and did an interview with, what's his face, you know, who has his... James Corden, didn't he? Straight after the protocol. I mean, Oprah was really angry. I mean, there is an exclusivity. So I thought it was an opportunity just to say, were we all Friends fans? I know my eldest Izzy was.
I had a period of time that I
fan.
was, yeah. And the thing is, whenever I do watch it, I always enjoy it, but I never got addicted like people did.
I think I was at my most addicted at college. I mean, everyone was into it then. I mean, there was two things that we used to watch a lot: Friends and Neighbours. Friends and Neighbours. I mean, God, I was so into Neighbours. It was ridiculous. But
Patrick
yeah,
Salt
I liked
loves
it.
Friends. Angie Knowles loves Friends.
Yeah.
Alison Fisher love Friends.
Who were your favourite characters? I love Joey. I always loved Joey.
I loved them all. I mean, I remember I did have a period of time, you know, when I was hanging out a lot with James and the Clapham crowd. And actually, I used to go to flat all the time, Poinders Road, where Sarah.
Oh,
Elwood.
right.
So
In fact, I passed the memorial.
Mark, it's right next to the flat I used to go to all the time.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like
It's on the
flowers
corner.
are there.
Yeah.
That's the flat there.
Oh,
which
right.
It's like a little townhouse thing.
Right.
And we used to say, let's have a friends night, and we'd all try and be like friends. So we'd do all this thing of passing.
Oh, right.
We like had the music in our head. I mean, we didn't say that out loud, but oh my God. And we were trying to get that vibe, you know.
Ross was always great, wasn't he? Ross. I mean, the thing is, what made it such a success.
Football Crazy thinks it's overrated. A lot of people do.
Well, I think possibly now
Have you
when you
ever
look back.
seen how
But
they
can I just say,
recorded?
one of the things that made it really work was the fact that they were all great in their own
They were
respective
all
ways.
great. Did you ever see, there was a behind the scenes documentary about how they make it? Oh my God, it's fascinating. So they
Oh,
get
what with the
studio-
script writers? Yeah.
They've got the studio audience, they've got all these script writers, and they go out, and if they don't get a big enough laugh from the audience, they all go back, the script writers rewrite it, so they're there, the audience were there for hours every time.
For all the rewrites, if a scene didn't quite land or didn't quite hit its
Whereas
target.
here, my God, comedy's here, they can not get a laugh all the way through, and it's still going to be repeated 100 times.
I think the problem with a lot of our
British
comedy is if you get one laugh from one thing, they'll retell the same joke.
Yeah.
It was so smart. It was so whip smart.
Very smart, and they were all gorgeous, and they were all individual, and they weren't gorgeous in a traditional Hollywood way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, so is everyone say yes or no if you're excited about the Friends reunite? Oh, the Rachel haircut. I remember I've got a bit of a Rachel haircut. Everyone was going on about the Rachel haircut.
Oh God, everyone wanted the Rachel
I remember
haircut.
being so excited about meeting Courtney Cox because she was in, I think, Scream, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she came into the studio. We were doing a sort of showbiz show where we'd interview lots of famous people. She came in and she sat and she was so unpleasant.
Yeah, you didn't. She said, Mark said she was
Such
horrible.
a crushing I mean, but not unpleasant in that starry way, like, okay, well, yeah, fair enough. You get that. Though I never understand why anyone's like that.
Why does anyone have to be
Reeves, can I just say
unkind?
once again, Keanu Reeves, not like that at
Keanu
all.
Reeves,
One of the
everyone
nicest
says
guys
they're
in
nice.
showbiz. But she
I just
was
don't understand why
really-
people have to be rude.
she
I just
was
don't
really
get
horrid.
it. I mean,
She was
it's like-
really horrid.
because you don't have a nice day.
No,
If you go
exactly.
in and like the crew are there and you go, oh hi, and you have a chat and you find out, then you've had
Yeah.
a better time.
Yeah.
You honestly, you see these people and they're like so miserable.
So Brad Pitt was in it, wasn't he? Didn't he appear? Is that how they met? I'm sure Brad Pitt was in one of the friends.
Was he?
There was and there was
Oh, David Schwimmer. I love David Schwimmer.
yeah.
How many of them had big addiction problems? Was it
Well,
just
I know.
Matthew Perry?
I think Matthew Perry was the main one, wasn't it? And I mean, he's talked quite publicly
Yeah, he has.
about it. Bruce Willis was in it. Just
Oh,
on
he
that-
was. Everyone's saying Brad
Yeah.
was. Is
Yeah,
that
I
how
thought
they
he was.
met?
I think it might have been how they met. Yeah, but does anyone else, just on that note, remember Moonlighting with Bruce Willis? That was so good. Moonlighting with Sybil
Oh, I
Shepherd.
loved that. I never
Sybil
missed
Shepherd.
that.
That was
Absolutely
so-
loved
I wonder
it.
if I wonder if that's sort of survived the test
Amber
of
Brindley
time.
says it was the best.
Yeah, it was. It
Moonlighting.
was really good.
Tom Selleck. Oh, is he
Oh,
on
Tom
it?
Selleck. Do you remember him? Who did he
Jada
play?
Louise. No, they were married already. No, they weren't, Jada.
Were they?
Not when
Oh.
she No, she'd been in Friends a while before she met Brad. Because she was very famous when they got married. Because do you remember? Oh, I loved her wedding photo.
I like her.
Oh,
I
Leslie
really-
Wilson says they were married already too.
I really like her. I know she's had a lot of stick. What's her bloody name? Brad and...
Oh, Sky Lee
Jennifer- what's
says
her name?
Reese
Jennifer
Witherspoon
Aniston.
was in it.
Well, I'm sure lots of people had little cameos. I'm sure lots of little cameos came into it a
No,
lot.
Faith, haven't interviewed any of the Friends cast. No, well, Mark has, Courtney
I'm trying to
Cox.
think. Courtney Cox. Have any of the others ever popped up? No.
Matthew Perry, did you not?
No. But Courtney Cox and we interviewed her. Wes Craven. Wes Craven was lovely.
My friend was at the same in the same hotel
George Clooney was
as
in it.
Brad and Jennifer when Angelina and Brad were doing all their promo for their Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, yeah.
And Jennifer was at the pool a lot.
Was she?
And Jennifer didn't look very happy.
my
Poor
God.
Jennifer. Can you imagine that? Oh my God. She probably just knew and then they were doing all that PR together.
Danny DeVito was a stripper in it. That's classic Danny DeVito. I love Danny DeVito. Oh, I've just missed one. Oh, do you remember David Schwimmer as the, wasn't he the kangaroo? Not the kangaroo. Was he the kangaroo? No, not the kangaroo. The giraffe in, what was that film that the girls loved, the animation?
Who? What are you talking about?
Madagascar. Didn't he play the giraffe in Madagascar? He was brilliant. David Schwimmer. I'm pretty sure he
We've
was.
gone right off on one.
Sorry. Anyway, so Friends reunited. That's something to potentially get excited about. But I tell you what, we should watch it. We should react to it because
Yeah,
it'd
definitely.
be a really good catch up.
Definitely, just feel
But
good.
I've got two other really odd stories that I want to share with you. So Elon Musk has obviously been on the wacky backy a bit too much again recently. Not only has he tipped $1.5 billion into Bitcoin,
How many billions has he got?
countless billions. No, he's one of the richest men on the planet. But not
Is
only has
he?
he tipped $1.5 billion into Bitcoin, which has propped it up, this strange cryptocurrency, he's also, obviously, SpaceX trying to get to Mars and all that malarkey and believes we'll be able to grow potatoes up there one day. He's put a microchip in the brain of a monkey.
Oh, he's done it.
And the monkey has managed to play computer tennis with its brain. Now, cruelty to animals, all of that, I totally accept. And I'm quite astonished that this hasn't met with total outrage from the animal cruelty community. But Musk's Neuralink company is developing devices which allow for brain-machine interface. And in this video, the monkey learns how to control a basic computer with a joystick in return for a banana smoothie. I would do far more for a banana smoothie. I'd hand over my brain,
So,
everything.
because there was talk about this being
The
a
chip
cure
reads-
for Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly,
That it
exactly.
holds your memories.
But the chip can read and decode the brain activity. This is
Oh, I don't like
this
this.
is biotech.
This is now the world. The world's going to be taken over.
This is biotech. So
By
this
batch
monkey,
crazy stuff.
this monkey can play. I think was it that. Look, Pete was playing Mind Pong.
This is the
Do you remember the
AI.
old tennis
This is
game?
the AI that's going to finish us.
But look at the monkey. There's a photo of the
I don't
monkey.
wanna look at
Go
the monkey.
to Elon Musk's Twitter account, and there's a monkey just sitting there chilling, and he's playing ping pong. Pong.
I
Do you
don't
remember
like
that?
it.
So that's a little bit worrying.
Just a little bit.
Just
a
Terminator
little bit
begins.
worrying.
Yeah, Terminator begins in. Let's just hope he doesn't have the personality of John McEnroe and starts disputing whether the ball is
Oh
in.
look, Harry plans UK. Is that new news? That Harry's coming.
No,
Has it been said?
I don't know what that
Old
is.
news.
But another news story is, check this out, guys. I want to show you a photo. I'm pulling you off just for a second. Mystery. Does anyone remember crop circles?
Yeah.
Crop circles.
Look at this
and
one,
then they went
guys.
really out. Well, no, this isn't a crop circle. This is a
It's
sheep
a sheep
circle.
circle. No, I know, in the shape of a crop circle.
Mysterious photos that show a flock of sheep standing in a bizarre
incredible.
circle pattern have baffled social media users.
Do you think it's aliens? Have infiltrated sheep?
Well, your friend Tom believed he saw aliens, UFOs,
UFO in Croydon.
over Croydon yet again.
Shirley, actually.
Shirley. I've heard, apparently, did you hear that NASA recorded the strangest sounds coming from so far in the galaxy, and when they decoded it, it said something along the lines
Can I
of...
have a Big Mac and
No, it
fries?
said Shirley.
Shirley, fuck
Shirley.
off. Fuck off.
It said Shirley in Croydon. I've always thought Shirley in Croydon needed to be on the map. Why do you think the sheep are hanging around in a circle? We are not alone. Edited image, says someone else. Do you think it's an edited image?
I don't know. You know things
Well,
like
you
better
can't.
than-
Yeah,
I mean, it could be
could be an edited
image.
image. Could be an edited image. They look too perfectly in focus. That looks like an edited image. As he drew near, he realised the deeply strange sight was actually sheep.
Wow.
Well, on that really cosmic
Wow.
note... Oh,
Please hit the subscribe button, guys, and the thumbs up if you've enjoyed
Yeah.
your time with us.
yeah. Can I just say, I missed it yesterday, but Ellie, it was her 30th
show.
birthday yesterday. It was Ellie's 30th birthday yesterday, and she's Claire Harmer's partner. So Claire, wishing a belated happy birthday to Ellie, who was 30 yesterday. So happy birthday, Ellie.
to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear.
dear
Why are you doing that weird stuff? No, go again. You've gone a weird harmony.
Happy birthday to
That's awful.
you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ellie. Happy birthday to you. No, no, no. Mark, no. Turn it off.